So, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Meet my beautiful Harmony Honey that came from so far to be here in Jamaica. And we appreciate that you came. Giving hugs. I love hugs. All right. So today we're doing a revision. What do you call a revision? Liposuction and the BBL. Correct?
Yes.
Right. So I wanted to show you something that a lot of people complain about with tummy. I don't do tummy tucks. She had a previous tummy tuck. This is her scar. She actually looks great based on where she's coming from. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It is very important that we all understand that cosmetic surgery is to enhance the body you already have and not to give you a body that you see on Instagram. I must say that. This woman actually looks great based on where you're coming from.
Yes, Dan.
No. This is the challenge. This is one of your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Upper abdominal fullness after a tummy tuck. Very common. Very common. In particularly for women who are not at the adequate weight at the time of the BB, at the time of the tummy tuck. Because when we're removing and suctioning fat before that tuck is done, we have to bear in mind that the arteries that supply this scar is actually coming from the upper abdomen. So if you were to liposuction the upper abdomen too much, this scar would break down.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So most persons that do a tuck, if they are very overweight in the beginning, have the conversation with the surgeon, because you may need to do a revision liposuction after, because they will not be able to aggressively liposuction the top, because this wound is going to get necrosed. Okay. Because the circulation is going to get cut off to it.
Okay.
So you did the right thing. You got your tuck and now you're here to snatch.
Yes.
You understand? You did it the right way.
Okay.
But what we want clients to understand is that this fullness is going to be there if you remember your before picture, if you have a lot of abdominal fat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This navel is quite nice. Another thing with the scar, with tummy tucks, is that the scar sometimes tends to pull the mons pubis up. Mm-hmm. If you notice, your mons pubis got a little higher. Mm-hmm. It's called the scar. Remember, with the tummy tuck, they pull that skin down. But when it is healing, the skin literally contracts, including the scar, and pull the mons up.
Okay.
So what I'm going to try to, not going to try, we're going to get off this area so we can release the mons to fall a little bit.
Okay.
I've seen tummy tucks that pull the mons up so much that the person's labia minor and the clitoris become exposed.
Wow.
And they can't wear panties because when the tummy tuck heals, it pulls up so much, it pulls the lips apart, and the labia minor just lays lays open. You can't even wear pants sometimes. I just want to educate you on tummy tucks. I mean, I don't do tucks, but I want to educate you on it. The other thing we're going to address today are her dog ears. Very common. Dog ears. So sometimes the surgeon, and I don't know her surgeon, so I'm not taking up for him, may not want to extend the scar too much behind. So bring the scar to the top of the hip but sometimes there can be dark areas. So what we're going to do, we are going to lipo this area. I'm going to hone in on it, which is called the dark area, so that she can have a flattening out of this area. Turn back to the front again. And when this area flatten out, just look at that. We're going to do a BBL. But even just liposuction in that area gives her the shape she wants. When I squeezed it back and she looked just like, that's all I want. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we're going to lipo this area. This area doesn't need to lipo as much, because this area is actually smaller than this area. Not only that, this hip is smaller than this hip. So we're going to build on this hip a little more. But turn your back for me. But to get that shape that I love, and remember ladies, we're not talking about horrendously large bottoms.
Not at all.
We're talking about we're talking about beautiful natural bottoms. So sometimes you may see persons who have gotten liposuction look square, because what happens is that the waistline is liposuction, the back is liposuction, and then this area, which is the beginning of the upper hip, is not liposuctioned. We're going to liposuction this area, because if we don't, she's going to look square. So what we're going to do, we're going to lipo the waistline, but we're going to also lipo hair to give the semblance of a natural flowing buttock. And because we want the hips out a little bit, then we're going to add fat hair in this slight hip dip. So what we want her to do, we want her to look natural. We don't want her to look square like that. We're going to lipo here so she has a natural flow. We're also going to do the back. Put your arms down. We're going to do the back, because the back is a major part of the waistline. So some person say, okay, they want to lipo the tummy alone. But if we leave the waist and the back unlipoed, you're going to look very boxy, right? So we're going to lipo the back. These folds, sometimes the lines in these folds don't go. So we're going to empty out, quote unquote, most of the fat out of the folds so that it sits flat. She'll still have her line, because these lines are very important to suspend her body. If we didn't have these tags, so to speak, because these are our musculocutaneous fibers that hold the skin to the bone, to the muscles per se, or to the deeper subcutaneous tissue, then we will all melt off like candle. So we are going to lipo here, we're going to lipo here. We're going to take off this boxy area. Turn on for me. This side. To this side. Thank you. Okay, great. Take off this boxy area. Get this down. Fill out our hips a little bit. Did you want more buttock?
No.
You don't want any more buttock. We're just filling out your hips.
Yeah.
And we just want you to look sexy but natural.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any? So this is going to be my peeve area today. Get this back down. Now, under this area, there's a tummy tuck scar in the muscle. So I'm going to be very careful about that. Not only that, we also have a new umbilicus. This is not her original. This is not an umbilicus that she was born with. And another thing I'd like to say is that persons expect the tummy to be flat all the time after a tummy tuck. But if the muscle underneath the fat is not flat, then sometimes the skin and the fat is not going to be flat. Okay. Does that make sense? Because it's the whole anatomy. So although they may tighten the muscle probably sometimes, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't in your surgery, right? You can't get that muscle tight enough. And so if you don't exercise to work, pull that muscle in. Look at that. When she pulls that muscle in, look at what we have. So literally all this beautiful woman would really need to do is to just work out, exercise, and pull it tummy in. But she came to the Jamaica, so we're going to stay with that. And she's a busy woman taking over the world. Just got awards and stuff. Woo-hoo. Although that is no excuse not to exercise. but me just a try with that. But pull the muscle in. Pull the muscle in again for me. Pull the muscle in. Look at that. So what we're gonna do today is help her by just taking all the fat, so that her tummy can look flatter.
But doctor,
Talk to me.
remind them that they must not put on weight when they're here. They must consult the doctor first before deciding to put on weight, because that's the mistake I made.
Oh.
Remember, when I did my consultation, I'm at 170.
That's before the tummy tuck.
No,
Oh.
I did
Oh,
it
for me.
for you.
Yes.
So doc was like, don't lose any more weight. So I felt that okay, now that don't have nothing to work with.
Oh.
So I deliberately
Put on
some weight to do
Yes.
this. So
Yes.
tell them not to do
Exactly.
that.
She's right. I told her not to lose weight because I wanted, you know, because you were at 170, which was a good for you because you're tall.
Yeah.
Instead, she said, boy, doc said not to lose weight. Let me put on weight.
Because I want that for
Yes.
someone forget the fat from coming have no fat.
I may never say so in Jesus'
She
name.
never tell me to do that, but me too now.
But that's okay. But we're going to take it off back and get your waistline in as much as we can do. And then we're going to do your arms also.
Oh yes.
Yeah. All right, so let's get it done. Comment below if you learned something or if you have any questions. And also tune in for more, because at the end of the day, the education of cosmetic surgery is very important, because you have to know what you're getting into when you're going into cosmetic surgery, because it's not a miracle process.
No, it's not.
It's not. Amen. Namaste.
Namaste.